Yum, 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 yum. I'm a volcano. Ooh.
Yum, yum,
Mount
yum.
Vesuvius.
Ash and Zach think they're super smart because they went to college and I guess learned a bunch of stuff. And Bo and Andrew didn't go to college because we didn't want to. Fuck, whatever. What happens when you put them together and chaos will ensure? Use your right hand, let's all come together on Get Dumped On an Info Dump Podcast.
Hey, you perverts, and welcome to Get Dumped On in a Dump Podcast.
It's a good start.
It actually is. It actually is a good start. Keep going.
Because you know why? Because it's episode 69, and everyone knows that's the funny number. Everyone
It's a funny sex number.
69, da-da-da, damn, you're fine. Yeah. Anyway, so we're here. We're doing our weekly thing like we like to do. I'm here. You know me. I'm Bo. I'm the guy you guys hate. Well, I hate you too. What you say, I'll bring it right back to you, huh? Whatever the thing is, like something, I'm glue, it goes back to you.
I'm rubber, you're glue.
Yeah, that's what
Whatever
it
you say
is.
bounce off me and sticks to you.
That's how I feel about you guys. Just kidding. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys listening all the time. You didn't think you could see this side of me, but here it is. The good side of Bo. The nice side. So why don't you come with me on an adventure with my 3 other friends here while we do this. Speaking of my friends, we got Andrew. Say hi, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew. Hello, hey.
How you doing, Andrew?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good. And then we also got Zach. Hey, Zach. Say hey. Zach, say hi.
Hey, it's me. I'm Zach. Hi.
Hey, how are you, Zach?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Again, I'm just being nice to these perverts out here listening to us in their ear holes in their cars or at work or whatever you guys do. And again, the hostess with the mostess. Ash is going to be dropping some 69 knowledge on us. I don't know if it's 69 knowledge. I'm just saying it because it's episode 69. So
Maybe don't listen to this at work because this is going to be a very not safe for work episode. We're leaning into the 69 trope.
Yeah, we're leaning into it.
We're gonna get it all out this episode.
If you're listening to this with your kids, don't listen to this podcast with your kids anyway.
Don't let your child listen to this.
Yeah, if you don't want to hear us talking about
not this one.
Bo, for this one episode, I am giving you free reign to talk about loads as much as you want.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I have talked about my loads.
It's only fitting for episode 69. We're gonna get all our gross, nasty shit that we have to say. We're going to talk about gross sex history. It's not necessarily gross. It's just sex history.
Really?
History, stuff about sex and history. Because it's a very large topic, so I just kind of picked some fun things about
But
history.
we're mostly going to be talking about old stuff because I don't want to talk about real dolls. They're gross and I don't want to think about them.
Oh.
Also, this is like the history, but it's like a history podcast. I want to talk about ancient sex, the history of sex stuff.
All right. Well, why don't you guys go ahead and let's get on that horse and let's ride
Zach
that
is
horse
actually
into sex land.
Zach's actually going to start us off today.
One thing that we're going to be talking about today a lot are, or at least, a fair amount of the things that we're going to be talking about are things that are ostensibly, by our modern definition of the thing, dildos, ancient dildos, less ancient dildos, really ancient dildos, stuff that you stick inside of your body. And one of the things that I was thinking about while Ash was talking to me about all of these like wild prehistoric dildos is what the hell is the word dildo, right? Where does the word dildo come from?
Hey, Zach?
Yeah?
What's the word dildo?
So it's crazy because, this is one of those words that, like a lot of words in the English language, doesn't really have a clear origin. All we know really definitively about it is that it arose sometime in the late 1500s or early 1600s. But at the same time, you kind of have to say that like that about most English words because that was kind of when Middle English was becoming modern English.
English was a language.
Yeah, that's when English was kind of becoming the like language that we speak today is this like late 1500s, early 1600s Shakespearean era. And so there's multiple possible origins that people will usually point to for the word dildo, and they're all kind of fun. The most common theory, and the one that is like the most commonly touted but has the least academic information behind it, like the least academic support, is that it comes from an Italian word, diletto, which means a woman's delight.
Oh.
There's no evidence that Italian loan words. Yeah, it seems too convenient to me. And there's no real evidence, apparently, that Italian loan words were coming into English at that time.
That makes sense.
Well, sometimes the shortest point between A and D, you know what I'm saying?
But there's so many other ones that
D
are
is
more
for
fun.
dildo. That's it. That's what I was going for.
That's or dick. Give them the dick.
What is a dildo if not a dick?
Yeah. Now another one that's fun is dildoll, which is an Old English term. So it's even earlier than that, which is taken from the Old Norse word dilla, which is a verb meaning to soothe. And so literally then a dildoll
not a quesadilla.
would be a soothing
not a
doll,
quesadilla.
or in this case, an effigy of a member.
Oh, a doll that will dilla you.
Yes. A doll that will dilla you.
I'll be the first to say on this podcast that made me uncomfortable.
which
Get fucking ready, dog.
Oh no.
This is also fun because it makes me think of dilly bars, like from from Dairy Queen.
Don't put those.
Bo, do you go to Dairy Queen often?
As a Southern California red it's always hot, and so I actually do not.
You don't dilly the dilla?
Do they have Dairy Queens in Southern California?
No, they all burnt down mysteriously.
Yeah, they do. Hey, let's get back to dildos.
All right. The next one is a 17th century. It comes from a 17th century ballad and has unclear origins on its own, but it is a phrase called dildool, which is very, very clearly referring to a man's penis in this song. It's a 17th century ballad called The Maid's Complaint for Want of a Dildool. Dildool or Dildole, which is the maid's complaint for want of a dildole. This girl long time had in a sickness been, which many maids do call the sickness green. I wish she may some comfort find, poor soul, and have her belly filled with a dildole.
Oh my God.
Which is great. Now this might come from...
No, it's not.
This might come from the use of dildo as kind of the most academically backed theory for the origin of the word dildo is that it's kind of a nonsense word from the 1600s. The definition that the etymology online gives for it is a term of obscure cant or slang origin used in old ballads and plays as a mere refrain or nonsense word, also used from its vagueness as a substitute for various obscene terms and in various obscene meanings.
Oh my God. It was fucking bazinga.
Okay. Yeah. And so the earliest one known, or like skibbity.
Oh God.
Skibbity toilet.
Oh no.
Skibbity.
Skibbity dildo. Oh Lord.
The earliest use of this that is recorded, so it probably started earlier, that was in 1593 in Choice of Valentines or the Merry Ballad of Nash His Dildo. Other forms of this include dildoides, dildidos, dilladoon.
Dilladoon.
Which is all very fun.
Doug Dilladoon, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadoon.
Dildoides is my favorite Greek philosopher.
Dildido is my favorite singer.
Stupid.
Dildin. By 1675, we have dildin being used as a term for sweetheart in a play, where somebody said, "Here comes a lusty wooer, my dildin, my darling."
My dildin, my darling.
And Shakespeare
my darling, dilly doll. That.
And this sort of double meaning of dildo as a nonsense word, but also like, oh yeah, he and she and her, she and him, they dildoed over there. Or like, Tom met Mary and dildo. But
who's ever said that? Who's ever said like, "Oh, I got with this person. Oh, what did you guys do?" Well, I dildoed them. Like that's not.
Well,
I hate
dildo,
That's in my
dildo.
vocabulary every day. Oh yeah, we're dildoing to his.
I'm gonna dildo you. I'll dildo you
Skibbity
later.
Riz, Ohio.
Oh God.
Stop. Stop.
But
Stop. Stop it.
Anyway, this shows up in Shakespeare. Actually, the word dildo is used in Shakespeare in a Winter's Tale. A servant says, "He hath songs for man or woman of all sizes. No milliner can so fit his customers with gloves. He has the prettiest love songs for maids, so without bawdry, which is strange, with such delicate burthens of dildos and fadings. Jump her and thump her, and where some stretched mouth rascal would, as it were, mean mischief and break a foul gap into the matter, he makes the maid to answer, 'Whoop, do me no harm, good man.' Puts him off, slights him with 'Whoop, do me no harm, good man.'" So that's fun.
That was way too eloquent. Like I actually enjoyed that.
It's Shakespeare for you, baby.
Yeah.
Shakespeare is not supposed to be highbrow at all.
No, Shakespeare is not supposed to be highbrow. Shakespeare
it sounded like really fancy though.
It's not supposed to be fancy.
There is a ton, and I feel like reading Shakespeare in high school would have been more enjoyable if they had pointed out just how many dick jokes in Shakespeare went over our heads because we didn't understand like the wordplay at the time. Shakespeare is full of dick jokes, which is great.
It's meant for the common folk, you know?
It's meant for the common folk.
That's probably why it was so popular. I mean, people are they're tired of like the highest stuff, you know, like the.
And it's like it was written in a language that was meant for them to understand and find funny, you know? It's theater for the people.
It was the language of so like Shakespeare to us now sounds so antiquated and like highbrow, but back then it was the lowbrow. It was the language of the commoners.
It was mumble rap,
which is great. It was essentially like
it's like going from Bohemian Rhapsody to WAP.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's more like who's the guy who did all those vaguely attempting to be highbrow comedy movies in the 2010s?
Judd Apatow?
Yeah, Judd Apatow.
Like This Is 40?
Yeah. Where it's like
which is not funny at all.
It's written and it's like a thing, but it's also like lowbrow dick jokes. I don't know. The metaphor is not perfect. Erase that when you're editing this.
Nope.
Then another
There's
interesting side case, which may or may not be related to our modern term of dildo. Oh, wait, what were you going to say?
Real quick. There's been like a resurgence on TikTok of people reading Shakespeare with Southern accents, and it like sounds weirdly good and makes sense. Yeah, it's really fun. You should seek that out. There's some of it. I've enjoyed all that I've seen. Okay, sorry, Zach, go ahead.
Should I reread this part, but with a Southern accent?
Please.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good. My Southern accent isn't very good anyway.
You could try.
If it was a different thing, I would say yes, but I don't want to hear the same thing again.
I would really love him to try.
Tell you what, if another one comes along, just surprise us.
Yeah.
So the other use of the word dildo, which may have become this dildo, just like the idioms episode that Bo did, nautical origin, classic, where a dildo was a small peg, which was described as phallus shaped, used to lock an oar in the position on a dory, which is a small boat. It would be inserted into a hole on the side of the boat and is very similar in shape to a modern dildo.
Okay.
This use of the dildo, this dildo being known as this sort of nautical instrument, led to it being used as like a word for all sorts of things. So like there's a town in Canada called Dildo, which is a fun thing to know. Yes, look it up right now. Dildo, Canada.
It's like Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but it's named after the little peg that they use on ships to keep the oars in place.
So there was extremely unironically an old naval sea captain guy being like, "Give me the dildo."
Yeah, it's on Newfoundland, and
Newfoundland. You can change the name. You can change that. Like
no, you can't. But anyway, because of this use of the word dildo, we have ancient references, and by ancient I mean like 1600s references.
That's not
to
ancient, bro.
Dildo. Yeah, no. Dildo
Historical.
glass being a term for a test tube used by like alchemists and stuff is dildo glass. Then there's dildo pear, which is a pear that was described that resembled this, and the dildo cactus, which is fun. But
no. Ow. No, that's not fun. But don't say this is fun.
Sounds pokey.
Yeah, right. That doesn't sound very good at all.
Oh God, pokey for her pledge? No, nope. Mm-mm.
And anyway, that's my main contribution to this episode is some fun facts about where the word dildo may have come from.
That's wild, dude.
It's
absolutely bonkers.
Great. I kind of love it.
Ugh. Thanks for making me feel uncomfortable. You did a great job.
Ever really thought about?
Well, you were having a great time until I brought up the dildo cactus. And really, when it comes down to it, you just need to be more adventurous.
You know,
So when I was looking into this,
it's got like those little nubbins, you know,
and thorns.
Well, yeah, spikes. You can take the thorns off, and then it leaves those little nubbins behind. And there's a reason why.
So when I was researching this,
de-thorn a cactus to.
They'd be like, no, I'm not.
Any port in a storm, dog.
Sorry, Ash. Go for it.
Yeah, go, Ash. Go.
The lengths that people go. So the things when I was looking into this, I wanted to know like what the oldest
Country
archaeological.
girls make do.
God.
You know, we'll come back around to that.
Oh no.
I wanted to know what the oldest like sex toy that was ever found in the archaeological record. Like I needed to know. And the answer that I found was a bunch of fucking lies. So if you look up what's the oldest sex toy or like what's the oldest dildo, there's a bunch of articles that all say that there is a 30,000-year-old Neanderthal dildo. That's like a stone tool. It was made by Neanderthals, and it was like there's evidence of use, and it looks like a dick, and it's a dildo. Like it's a dildo that was used. Seeing this a bunch was like skeptical because having studied hominins, I was like, I feel like I would have heard of that. I feel like that would have come up in the many years that I spent studying this. And also, Neanderthals died out 40 to 50,000 years ago, and so how did they find a Neanderthal dildo from 30,000 years ago?
The time doesn't match up.
Sounds like lies.
And the answer is that they didn't. But what they did find was a stone tool that is carved to look like a dick. It is a phallus shape from 28,000 years ago in what is now Germany, which is a very prolific site. And what they think it is that it has the same evidence on it as other stone tools, i.e. evidence of burnishing and polishing and some grinding. And so somebody read that at once and was like, oh my gosh, it's burnished and polished. You know what that means? It was used heavily. No, it just means that it is just evidence of stone tools. So what this probably was a hammerstone for making stone tools. And if you don't know, a hammerstone is a hard stone that you use to like break up a stone tool in the initial stages of making the tool. You were always better at lithics than I was, Zachary.
Yeah, it's like the first thing that you use to start breaking off of the
core.
That's the word. Fuck, it's been too long.
It's been a really long time. Yeah. So if you're making a stone tool, you need to make something smaller. First, you'll break off a bunch of big pieces, and then you'll get a smaller tool, and you'll break off a bunch of little pieces. And so this was a tool for making stone tools, and it was just kind of shaped like a large and in-charge dongus.
You keep saying it's a tool, though, and tool is slang for a dongus, so.
It was a tool in many ways.
Well, if you had the chance to make all of your tools look like penises, would you do it?
No.
I wouldn't not use it.
No.
I feel like if you're
Probably
going if you want like a carved tool and you want your tool to like symbolize something or be fun in some way, like that's a pretty easy one. It's not difficult to make it look like that, you know? But I am just upset that all of these articles are misreporting history when I think the answer is very interesting in that it was a tool that somebody shaped like a dick.
So what was the oldest one, if you did find one that was actually confirmed?
I didn't really. So it's difficult to pin down. I think the answer is the 6,000-year-old Roman dildo.
Okay.
I actually kind of lost after I found out that wasn't actually the oldest one. I was kind of like, this is garbage. And so I didn't
From the sound of it, it took an extremely long time to track that down.
Dude, it took me literally over an hour to track down the like actual paper that this artifact was found and described in, the like journal that it was described in. And then when I did find it, it was fully in German. It was just only in German. But luckily, I found one publishing of this paper that had an English abstract, and they describe it in the abstract. So I was able to get the answer there.
I don't know. Didn't you pass your language test in grad school in German? Shouldn't you have been able to translate it?
The only German knowledge that I have, it revolves around primates and their ears.
Not dildos.
Not at all dildos or even lithics. But really what this ended up being is just a part of our human history and tradition of representing the human body in the things that we make. So like, you know, there's the naked lady that's like also half bison, half lady that's in Chauvet Cave. We talked about it before a little bit. There's the Venus statues, like the Venus of Willendorf. Have you heard of that?
No. What's that?
You've probably seen it. Here, while you're talking, I'll get a picture of it.
Thank you, Zachary. So the Venus, they call them Venus statues, and it's the term that they use for a bunch of little carved figures of real large and in charge ladies. There's like naked women, and they're usually very robust.
I believe that the current in vogue term is thick with two C's.
Oh yeah, thick thick ladies.
Okay.
Zach
Okay.
just
Zach posted a picture of it. Yeah,
Let's see
they're
it.
little statues of
I would give them 2 C's, maybe 3 C's.
two C's. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we're
Two
in
C's at a
D
minimum.
territory for sure.
All right.
And there's a bunch of these kind of throughout history, like little figurines of ladies, but they're always full figured, let's say. And so we don't really know like what these are. They're probably not like porn. Yeah, you know, they're probably more a symbol in some way, an incorporation of either fertility or sexuality or reproduction into either artistic objects or tools. It's a
I would
really
say that.
interesting part of human history because this is when humans are really really expressing human thoughts through symbolism, and that's a really big part of being human is you know, you have an object that represents something that doesn't necessarily mean that thing. And so now a lot of researchers think that these Venus figurines are probably a way for populations to like idealize and describe the most ideal conditions for the continuation of their species, which is pregnant, well-fed women of childbearing age, you know?
Oh yeah, you
Okay.
want them to be thick so that they've got the fat reserves necessary to
Sustain lots and lots of children over
Yeah.
lots and lots of seasons. And I mean, what's better evidence that your population is thriving than like well-fed people who have a bunch of kids, you know? That's like the whole point, right?
Yeah. That was the sign of wealth back then, right? Was if you were a giant person or a bigger person, like most kings were.
In a lot of
portly
places,
fellows.
yeah, because it just means that you
I
like
mean,
had the most
yeah.
food.
Remember Henry VIII was so fat that he had gout.
Yeah, he'd be carried around and hoisted on his horse.
He was just a piece of shit.
I didn't really find the oldest dildo. I will say, though, that there is a lot of dildos that they found from ancient Rome and ancient Greece. There's also ones described from ancient Chinese contexts. Like, they're Egypt, like all over the world. They got, it's there.
Well, the ancient Romans and the ancient Greeks, like they were
so horny all the time.
they be fucking, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I would say they take a pretty good. They've got a pretty good chance in the running for a horniest society of all time.
Okay, who would you put as number 1?
Well, oh shit, who are the ones where all of the paintings are ladies with their tits out? Was it the Minoans?
The Etruscans? The Minoans. That sounds right.
The answer, Bo, is I don't know. That's what they said.
That's all I'm hearing is like, oh yeah, I got answers, but I'm not going to give you one.
We
I don't know that you can quantify it in that way,
We don't
honestly.
know who the horniest people were.
You know?
Yeah.
And I also do think that sometimes the horny nature of their societies is maybe a little bit misinterpreted or whatever. They just had very different ideas about sex and sexuality than we do.
Cool.
It was the Minoans. There's like all of the drawings, all of the artwork from the Minoans of women like wearing clothes. They always have the like center of their chest exposed, and so they've always got their breasts out, which is pretty funny by our standards.
It's a power move. It's a power move, and I respect it.
It was like not meant to be sexual.
No, so I guess they aren't really the horniest. I think
That's what I'm
that
saying.
maybe some Minoan scholars are perhaps listening to this, and they're saying, "How dare you?
How dare you?"
misrepresent?"
I'm saying that.
Yeah.
I said that before you started talking, to be honest.
Hey,
It's true.
Minoan scholars, I agree with you. Zach is out of line.
But I will say about Rome. What I will
Look at the
say about
snake
Rome.
handler.
Oh, I love the snake lady. She's one of my favorites. She's got snakes and she got a cool whatever that is on her head. I can't remember what it is.
Zach posted a picture of a statue of a lady holding 2 snakes out, like she's almost in a T pose, but she's got snakes in her hands.
She's holding them up triumphantly, like I got these snakes.
And she,
Look at my snakes.
Look at my snakes and look at my.
her boobs are out, and it's a power move. She's very powerful.
She
with
looks
those snakes.
powerful, honestly. And what's on her head? I can't remember. Some type of animal is atop her head.
Looks kind of like an owl.
What I will say about Rome is that while
A cat.
I mean I
It's a
don't
cat.
necessarily ooh, classic. I don't think that the Romans like deserve our sympathy because like most of them were awful. But they were some nasty lads. Sexual roles in Rome and in Greece too were not defined by gender, but they were defined by acts. And this is this is a way in a lot of societies in like current day the world as well, where you're not like sex. The actual act of having sex is what defines it and not like who you're having sex with. And so what it really means is that if you are the giver, then you are the man. And if you are receiving in any way, then you are not a man. And in Rome, especially, like sex was power. Like the higher people could have sex with like lower people. And it was all about like access and all that stuff. Like it was nuts. In Rome, there was institutionalized brothels. Brothels were like commissioned by the government and in a lot of times temples, like temples of Athena. Prostitution is what funded the temples and kept them going and actually kept them like separate from other like administrative powers at the time. But they were generally fine with it. It wasn't like the best profession. You know, they weren't like revered in any way, prostitutes. They were kind of on the lower castes of society, but it wasn't illegal. And it was like, there were laws surrounding it. Did you know the city of Pompeii?
Yeah.
How it's like a crazy archaeological site and like a lot of history there?
Volcano, go, yum, yum, yum.
Yeah. Did you know?
I don't know if that's how I describe it, but sure.
Volcano go yum yum yum, and everybody goes, oh no.
This is the high quality content that you come here for.
Yeah.
Yum, 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 yum. I'm a volcano. Ooh.
Mount Vesuvius. Okay, sorry, Zach.
Mount Vesuvius.
No. Mount Vesuvius erupted, covered Pompeii and Herculaneum in ash. Everything was like perfectly preserved because of how fast the ash covered everybody, and they all died where they were.
Now I can never hear that ever again. If someone says Mount Vesuvius,
Mount
it's just,
Vesuvius.
that's ruined for me now.
Did you know that
No,
Pompeii?
you can't make a joke of it. People died.
People died horribly. Did you know that Pompeii is covered in dongs?
I did not.
There are dicks everywhere. There are dicks on entryways. There are dicks above doors. There are dicks in the street. There are dicks carved into like so many different places. Because in Rome, the penis was a symbol of fertility, strength, and good luck. The phallus, as it were. It was personified in a lot of different ways in Rome. There are many penis carvings and like figurines like across Roman sites across the world. It was like a motif in their society. Was like they revered. It was a very hypermasculine society in which the phallus was seen as a very strong symbol. So in Pompeii, dicks were everywhere because it was a symbol of good luck. So if it was said that if you put it on your door, it was a way to ward off evil. It was a symbol of good luck. You should put it like on your pocketbook.
They put it like above above their fireplace. Like there's the good luck penis.
There's our good luck schlong. They were also on brothels because there were many brothels in Pompeii. There was
it's a very clear indicator. There's not a lot of ambiguity to that.
There's some where like the dicks are like pointing to the brothels, like go that follow the dick this way.
There were dick signs.
Dick signs to go and
nice
do it.
Nice dick arrow. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I get. I mean, it's very clear. Like, hey, if you want to use it,
go over there.
Go that way.
Follow the signs.
And there is also a bunch of body graffiti in Pompeii and Herculaneum where people carved messages or carved into the stone walls some pretty rude things.
Like what?
I'll read you some of those. In a
southern accent.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
In a bar.
Unless you want to.
That was also a brothel. This one says, "Weep, you girls, my penis has given you up. Now it penetrates men's behinds. Goodbye, wondrous femininity."
Weep, you girls, my penis has given you up. I like that.
Yeah.
There's also some, it's not all gross. There's some like really cute ones. Like in a bar, they found, "We are two dear men, friends here, friends forever, we're here. If you want to know our names, they're Gaius and Aulus."
It's just
like,
guys being dudes.
That's just guys being dudes.
Oh my God, they were roommates.
In a different bar, there's one that just says, "I fucked the barmaid."
Classic.
I don't know if he did. I think that's just someone
he's
like
lying. Oh,
yeah, he's probably lying. It's like, I totally did.
Oh yeah,
you can't say that I didn't.
Look, I wrote it on here. Look, if it's written down, it's obviously true, especially in these times.
I know how to write, which makes me powerful.
Apparently, in a pottery shop, there's one that says, "Is this real?" It says that the name is Lesbianus. You defecate and you write, "Hello,
that
everyone."
Sounds sketchy.
Yeah, that sounds sketchy. Maybe that one's not. Maybe this one's not the best source.
Lesbian.
Apparently in the gladiator barracks, they found Antiochus hung out here with his girlfriend Cythera. He was kicking it with my girl, you know?
I like that. That's wholesome. He's just hanging out.
In another one, it says... Oh, go ahead.
We used to be a proper society where you could carve these things in the walls and buildings and not out in the tree in the woods.
We can't do that now.
You gotta go out in the woods.
Those out there listening to this, just carve your local wall. Whatever you're doing.
I mean, you could get some of them were in charcoal, written in charcoal. So, you know, you could just write it on the wall. Get a Sharpie, you know, classic style. You don't got to get crazy.
If you want to be lazy.
This one in one of the buildings said, "Watch it, you that shits in this place. You may have Jove's anger if you ignore this." Was that some guy being like, "Stop shitting in front of my house"?
Yes, like please, for the love of God, stop shitting here. go somewhere else. Just please.
That's kind of fun.
I can't handle this shit no more. It's so much.
I actually really like that. Like, it's a practical joke. Like, let's go poop on whatever his name's.
Old man Jenkins's doorstep.
And he's like, stop pooping on my lawn.
Jenkinius. On a street wall, one of them says, Theophilus, don't perform oral sex on girls against the city wall like a dog.
Yeah, within city limits, bro.
Basically him calling out Theo, being like, don't be gross. This one says, it took 640 paces to walk back and forth between here and there 10 times. And people think that maybe they were drunk when they wrote that.
That's not very sexy.
This is one that says Secundus likes to screw boys.
Okay.
That's
just general information. Secundus, like, hey, just if you're looking for him,
hey,
that's
Secundus,
what he's into.
Who doesn't?
This one says, Amedius got me pregnant.
Amedius.
This one just says, I fucked a lot of girls here. So some of them are more statements than,
These are like,
else.
it's like,
Good
this is
for
like
him.
early Twitter.
There's some beef. There's some like, Phileros is a eunuch. Ephafara, you're bald. And then Ephafara comes back up later and someone says, Ephafara, you're not good at ball games.
So
you may be bald, but you're bad at bald games.
That guy sucks apparently. So poor guy.
Yeah, people didn't like that guy.
Sucks to suck.
In the
That guy doesn't have
Basilica,
anything going for him.
there's one that says, the one who buggers, a fire burns in his penis. Good advice.
Who's the one who
Is
buggered?
that,
What does that
is that a
mean?
reference to
Buggered is another word for getting it on.
in the butt,
Oh.
specifically in the butt? Is that like a reference to like gonorrhea?
That or
I
he's
think
just
so.
really good.
I thought that it was like
He's straight fire, yo.
Don't let your affection give you an infection. Put some protection on that erection.
Please tell me you just made that up.
No,
Oh,
that was a thing when I was in college.
never mind then.
Well, you should.
I was impressed.
Well, you should have claimed it as your
But no,
own.
I'm not.
We would have believed you. if you
Oh,
claimed
I
it as
totally
your
made
own.
it up right now.
Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious, Ash. Fucking hilarious.
These two dudes named Apelmus and Dexter show up a couple times. They say, in one of them, they say, we ate here most agreeably and had a screw at the same time.
Aw,
And then this one
it's
says,
kind of nice.
Apelmus and his brother Dexter each pleasurably had sex with 2 girls twice.
Oh, it's like Yelp
So they were
reviews.
having
I
a
like
good
it.
time.
Yeah.
So they were having, they're like, come to this bar. We had a great time. And another one, actually, it's a bad review.
Is that
It
is
says-
the ancient Yelp?
Yeah, it says, 2 friends were here. While they were here, they had bad service in every way from a guy named Ephroditus. They threw him out and spent 105 and a half sesterce most agreeably on whores. So they were like, fuck this place. Let's go to the brothel instead.
Wow.
Wow.
So
So
don't
you
go
could
there.
just do
They're
that.
like, yeah, I'd rather not go here and eat. Let's just go do something completely different and have a better time.
And have a better
I
time.
think that's more of an ad for the brothel than a bad review for
Well,
that
they said
place.
that they had bad service in every way, specifically from this guy. So, like, it was his fault that they left.
Yeah, but it's not a brothel. If they're expecting a brothel, then they should go to a brothel, not this guy.
I mean, they didn't say where they bought the whores, but anyway, there's one really cute one that I want to end on, which is, if anyone does not believe in Venus, then they should gaze at my girlfriend.
Aw.
Aw, that's so
I love that.
nice.
That's pretty sweet. Oh my god.
Yeah, so it's
I'm
not
gonna
all
use that.
it's not all gross graffiti. Some of it's very nice.
You're gonna use it on Ash. He's already nuts. You're gonna use.
Aw.
Surprise. Oh.
The Oz have it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change it up on my end though. Like, what was it again, Ash? If you don't believe in Venus,
if anyone does not believe in Venus, they should gaze at my girlfriend.
if anyone does not believe in, oh
on.
God,
You got
what's like a modern equivalent of that?
it. Serena. I'm talking about the. Thank you. He took it. Thank you, Zach.
I got it.
Thank
As a
you.
tennis joke.
Yes, and it was hilarious. There's people right now listening, and they're dying too.
They're crashing their cars.
I would too.
They're
after a
screaming,
joke like
crying.
that.
Somebody
up.
just ran into a telephone pole.
They just
Wow.
fell to their knees. And
What a good
whatever they're doing.
podcast.
Someone just fell to their knees in a Target right now with their headphones in.
They're at,
Is this
they're
guys,
they're
is
at
this a
Dick's
good
Sporting
podcast?
Goods. They're top their knees to the tennis aisle. This is how fucking good it was.
The last thing I want to say about the Romans is a really good piece of penis graffiti that I found from a site called Vindolanda it's a Roman site in England. And the story that I read in this article was this guy, they're excavating this Roman site. this guy was digging out his pit. There was a huge rock in it, and he was like really annoyed by this rock. And so he was just trying to like get it out of the way so he could keep excavating. So he spends like a really long time trying to get this thing out of there. He finally like frees it and flips it over, and it's got carvings on the other side. And those carvings, it says Secundinius cacor, and it's a big carving of a dick. And that translates to Secundinius the shitter with a peen pointing right at his name.
He's the shitter?
He's the shitter. And apparently
is that his
this
job, or
is meant to
like
be an
his...
insult. I think it's like,
Okay.
you piece of shit. You're a shitter,
Okay.
piece of shit. I hate you.
I thought
Maybe
that's
this guy
like
fucking
that's like,
shits.
like a blacksmith, and then there's the shitter.
Yeah, no.
He helps people when you're constipated. Go to the shitter, and he'll help you out.
Oh, some people need that. Apparently, the people who translated it said that this was meant to be an insult to Secundinius, and that it was kind of like the words were like a play on words, and so he was like inverting the meaning of the penis to actually mean that like this guy sucked.
Okay, so they're
that's
switching
fun.
it from an object of power to
What it means now when
Not.
you like draw a dick on your friend's face when they fall
you
asleep
could
at
call
the
someone a dick.
sleepover.
Like, you're being a dick, dude.
Yeah. He's a dick and he shits too much.
And he can't stop shitting.
Can't stop
Can't
pooping
stop
everywhere.
Shit.
Please stop pooping.
My dude just
near my
pooped.
house. I can't handle the poop.
Stop shitting on my lawn. It was Secundinius.
I'm afraid to go to bed to wake up because there'll be poop everywhere.
It's full circle. It's full
Every
circle.
day I wake up. We're going to move on to the Greeks now, but we're going to have the segue be penis graffiti, in which Zach in the notes wrote penis graffiti. That penis graffiti, there was a very old instance of penis graffiti is from the 6th to 7th century?
BC.
6th, 7th century BCE, from the Greek island Astapalea. Is that how you say that?
Astapalaya, I think.
There you go.
Listen, my Greek pronunciation doesn't exist. Every time I pronounce a word in Greek, I'm guessing.
I 100% butchered all of those Roman names. So this was carved into Dolomite limestone rocks atop a cliff top vista. That's what I meant to say. I don't know why I'm doing this when you wrote it.
Do you want me to take over?
I mean, it's almost.
No, I'm
I
actually
read an
enjoying this a lot.
Okay.
Ash, keep going.
It included the transcription. No, here we go. It's a name. Nicosidemos was here mounting Timiona.
If you want, I can do the names for you if you just put them out there. Just copy and paste his names, and I'll try to do it for you.
I'll do that. Thanks, Bo. Apparently, this was a triumphant inscription. So he was like, I fucked that guy. And so I asked Zach to look it up. I was like, are those both dudes' names? And those are both dudes' names.
Nice.
The article that I read about it was the archaeologist who had founded and translated and interpreted and published it. He was calling them like triumphant inscriptions, and that there were a few things around the island that were just like, I did this thing. I climbed to the top of this mountain. Apparently, it's a very nice looking vista. It's like at the top of a cliff, and it's like you got to hike to get there. And I guess the way that it's written kind of implies that Nicosidemos and Timiona had a recurring relationship. They didn't just do a one-off mounting.
Oh, they were there continually.
Yeah, that's something about the tents.
So they would go. They would go on a hike and do a little wop wop. And
go on a hike and do a little buggery.
I saw a movie about that with Jake Gyllenhaal and what's
Yes,
the
I
other
believe
guy?
a mountain was involved.
The Joker.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal and the Joker. Zach, you also wrote that some guy named Dion also wrote his name there.
Yeah, some guy named Dion also wrote his name on the same rock with the dick and the Nicosidemos and Timiona graffiti. Then some other guy named Dion just wrote his name there too. So I'm wondering.
He was there watching from the bushes.
The thought is that maybe this was a fuck spot, and then people would write their names afterward.
Ah.
I mean, think about like when you were in high school, everyone knew that one spot where you would go and like make out with somebody, and it was always like on top of a mountain or a hill or something that overlooked stuff. So
yeah,
humans being human.
Humans being human.
And they've been doing it for a long time. The Greeks were also
What the fuck?
That was the Google Translate voice saying, I wish I could quit you in Greek.
okay.
Because you made the Brokeback Mountain reference.
Yeah, that was yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, you need to see that movie to know. Okay.
Oh my god.
Apparently,
Just again,
sounds so nice.
You have to stop. You have to stop.
It sounds really nice. I would just listen to. Is there like some place where I can listen to Greek audiobooks?
Can you
I'm
type
sure
it?
there
Like
is.
I don't know what they're saying, but just get the aesthetic of it.
Zach, are you doing a request right now for that? Can you ask it to say The Butterfly Effect is the best movie ever in Greek, please?
No, I'm not going to do that. Thank
Oh,
you.
you
You can
piece
do
of
that
shit.
on your own time if you want.
Yeah, you gotta stay on topic. The butterfly effect ain't sexy.
No, there's nothing sexy in the butterfly effect. It's a
Except
horrid-
Ashton Kutcher.
It's a
they got
gross,
naked in
horrid
that
movie.
They got naked in that movie, and I find that sexy.
Ash, you gotta take it.
Yikes.
Take
not
it back.
commenting
Take
on
it back.
What do you think about when you think about the Greeks in terms of this?
The Butterfly Effect.
In terms of the subject that we have henceforth been discussing this evening
So, what do we think of when you think of Greek peens?
of the. Well, I mean, I was just thinking like
Just
Greek
Greeks be banging?
society.
I would say like philosophers, but that's the only thing I think of.
Most people think of homosexuality.
Oh, okay.
Zach, am I off base here?
No, you're not off base. I think of the Greeks as doing a lot of dude on
Yeah, I
dude
bet
love.
you do. Yeah, I bet you think of that.
I'm thinking about it every night, baby.
And
Why are you saying it like that?
But please continue the whole podcast.
like that, yeah, Greeks. I'm gonna eat some euros and gonna bang some doodles.
Unfortunately for us,
Bacon Dudos. I love that.
Did they use yogurt as lube?
no,
Oh,
but they
God.
did use olive oil.
No, tzatziki sauce is white. Oh God.
No, it's
They
a known
used
thing that
olive
they
oil?
used olive oil as lube. Yeah.
That's actually like that would be healthy, right?
I don't think it's bad for you. I think it's fine.
It's good for your skin. It's good for you in certain doses.
Nice.
In certain doses, the doctor prescribed me 30 cc's of olive oil.
Yeah, don't drink a lot of it, but like a little bit.
Applied
keeps you
internally.
regular.
Unfortunately for us, the Greeks had very different views on sexuality that we did, and what a lot of them were into was older men who would have sexual relationships with young boys.
Gross.
It was
Hey,
a
I
thing
just
Zach
wanna-
thinks about again. This is what Zach thinks about every night before he goes to sleep.
I just want to say, I want my opinion explicitly stated on this podcast that I think pederasty is gross.
Well, you even knew the word for it.
What's like? Is that the Greek word for it?
Well, pederasty just means like, okay,
Do you know what it means?
well, yeah, the pederasty is different than pedophilia, but it's difficult to explain these sorts of things without sounding like somebody who's done too much research into it. But when you read about Greeks, they always refer to pederasty. And pederasties are specifically referring to like
You are pausing a lot.
I'm trying to remember exactly. All right,
I
you know
just-
what?
I
Fuck
just
it,
looked it
Google
up.
it yourself. Google it
it's
yourself.
the
Bad.
difference is the difference
not
is
Google
between
that.
is the age at which.
Do not Google
happens.
anything related to the subject. Do not do that. You will be put on a list. Don't do that.
And so that is a very unfortunate thing for us to have to talk about.
I mean,
and
I
that
also
happened.
think about the Big Lebowski when they call the Jesus a pederast.
Pederast.
Ash, you need
Hardly
to you
knew
need
her.
to you need to mute Zach's microphone and don't let him talk for the rest
I
of
don't
this.
have that power. I don't know what you want me to do about that.
Just edit this out. Just edit it out.
You know I'm not going to do that.
But it was fully expected that like once they grew up, they should get married and have wives and have children. And being fertile and having children was very important. But one thing I did read about Greece is that there is a possibility that they made dildos out of bread.
Bread bows, huh?
How they would like shape them and let them harden a little bit. And there's
sail up.
there's art of a naked lady holding a bag of bread, and they all look a little too much like weens, if you ask me.
Is that the origin of yeast infections?
Oh God!
I was going to say,
a different kind of
because when I was hearing about this, when Ash was doing the research, that was my only thought was like, this is just like a fast track to a yeast infection.
Slather it with olive oil.
That, or I mean, maybe we're we're going the wrong way with this because erotic cakes are a thing, but erotic bakes. Maybe it was just for like funsies.
I mean, you do bake
Maybe
a
it
cake,
was for
so
bachelor
still-
parties and bachelorette parties.
Yeah, I mean, you bake bread, so it's like.
Zach, just let me have that one.
And so it's possible that the references to these bread dildos are a joke about just like the way that the bread is shaped and that like, hey, that kind of looks like a dong. But
Yeah, like a baguette totally looks like a ween.
there's enough like references to it that people think that it like actually could have been truth, especially because there is references to other dildos made out of wood or leather or cloth. Some of them had straps. Some of them had without straps. There's like satirical, humorous stories of like women talking to each other about where they got it and how like, you should go to the cloth maker, talk to his wife because he'll make it for you on the sly and he'll make it like whatever size you want. So it wasn't unknown to them that this was a thing. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
Well, everybody had to do like two things at once. Everyone
Go,
had
go,
multiple
go, go
You
jobs.
got
here.
to diversify your investment.
You got to say the secret code word.
No, you got to talk to his wife,
Talk
and then
to his
she'll
wife.
go to him and be like,
And
"This
be
is
like,
what we need.
hey, I need
Take a break from making shoes for a second.
Make me the good shoe.
We need a loaf of bread." Wink, 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 wink. Just vigorously
Hey.
winking.
Loaf. Penis
A
loaf.
load of breads.
Oh, I said too much.
Oh yeah, with that cream filling.
And there is a
Oh my God,
wild
Zach.
Greek amphora that I saw that just has a lady holding some dildos and she is getting ready. So that's nuts.
I love that journey for her.
And it turns out that like sexual depictions on pottery is a thing that lots of people did.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we talked about that a lot in the early part of this podcast, I believe.
Like the moche sex pots.
Yeah. When you were sending a bunch of pots with a bunch of dongs all over them.
Oh, yeah.
What episode was that? That was early.
That was one of the
Peru
the cool sites in Peru episode. I think when I was talking about the Wacas de Moche.
Yeah,
And those ones are
moche has a lot of really good pots. Egypt has pots and papyruses. Greece has got them. Rome has got them. China has got them. Like India has that everywhere. Everywhere. It's a thing. People just want to draw people doing it,
Tale as old as time.
Song as old as rhyme.
Dong as old as...
Beauty and the dong.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Let's talk about Egypt actually for a little bit. There's a couple things that I want to talk regarding Egypt.
One
So
of the
Egypt,
gods was named Nut, right?
I don't think so.
No, he's right.
shit up now.
No, he's right.
Nut.
I feel like he's just making stuff up now.
Nope, he's 100%
Dude,
right.
this is the subject to do it because it was so hard to find like accurate, factual information on a lot of this stuff because people are just saying stuff. I mean, like, yeah, they totally did this. And I was like, where did you read that? Like, that can't be true.
Technically, it was Nut, not just Nut.
Oh, Newt.
She was the goddess of the sky, stars, cosmos, mothers, astronomy, and the universe.
Was
Is
she-
Newton coming? Get it? Like
Was she-
Tutankhamen?
Was she the
But,
one
yeah.
whose dad created her by jerking it?
Maybe.
So in,
That's gross.
Please no.
That's
in
gross.
Please
some
no.
in some
Ash, you're
versions
being gross
of
right now.
Egypt's creation myth, the first
That's
god's
the
name
line.
is Atum, and the one of the versions of this creation myth in Egypt is that Atum, the first god, was lonely and he didn't have a wife, and so what he did was essentially masturbated his children into existence. They sprouted from the seed that he spilled.
Could you imagine that happens in real life for everyone?
No, you gotta be a god, man. You gotta be a god.
Didn't we talk about
That
this
would
in one
suck.
of the Would You Rathers? It's like you come one big sperm and you have to fight it.
That's every teenager going through puberty would have 1,000 kids within 3 weeks.
That's what you have to be a god.
Teen pregnancy.
And varying versions of this story exist depending on like what time period and what specific region you're looking at. Some of them call it a sneeze, that he sneezed them into existence. Some say that it was like a little different. So
Well,
how creation
snot
myths go.
loads, pretty
That's-
similar.
That's both. How would you sneeze someone into existence?
You sneeze,
Is
How
and
good
then
is that sneeze?
and then they exist.
They just
Well,
come out of your
fucking good.
nose like you gotta pull it out.
They're gods, man. And apparently,
Gods are weird.
in some one period of time, pharaohs would honor this legacy of Atum by jerking it into the Nile and then watching it flow down with the river, which was
We have talked about
Are
that.
they like little boat races? They like little boat races down the Nile?
Oh God! Oh no!
that was awful. I hated that.
Oh no! That's the worst visual I've ever had. Oh God!
Egyptians were generally pretty chill about sex. They saw it like eating or drinking. It was a necessity of life. It was nothing to be ashamed about.
Good.
Yeah,
It
which is
should
like the
be.
way that it should be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Although adultery was punishable by death. So once you put a ring on it, stop fucking around.
Okay.
But before you're married, totally fine. Doesn't matter. Work it out. And a lot of the times, in
Just go
Egypt,
sneeze some kids into existence, you know?
marriage was like it wasn't like a thing. Like, you know, it wasn't like you have to propose and then go to the church. It was like the two individuals entering into a contract, usually to raise a child. So like, let's have a kid together. This now counts that we're married and we're like in this life together.
It was a courthouse wedding.
Essentially.
Oh, been there, done that. I got courthouse married. Yeah. Because I had a child out of wedlock.
Shotgun courthouse.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, I didn't know you were Egyptian, Bo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that's not, there was nobody forcing them to get married. They wanted to do it.
Oh, then never mind. I am nothing like the
Were you
Egyptians.
forced?
Well, he said shotgun wedding.
I mean, I brought the shotgun. I said we were
Bo,
married.
are you safe right now? Like,
I'm safe. I am all
They
right.
do say that
he's got a shotgun.
Mexico is the Egypt of North America.
What are you trying to say?
Well, there's pyramids.
That sounded racist.
That sounded slightly
There's
racist.
pyramids in both.
I know it's probably not racist, but it sounded racist.
Egypt North. Wait.
Egypt North? Wait, what?
Egypt is north. Egypt is in North Africa.
There is actually some people who say that like Egyptian sailors.
Those people are dumb.
were-
Oh, no. I thought you were going to say ancient aliens.
No, that Egyptian sailors visited Mexico at some point.
Well, that's true. I watched it on History Channel.
There's not really any actual evidence for it, but it is a thing that people say.
Cool.
Okay.
There was a few insults in ancient Egypt that revolved around sex. This one is, may you copulate with a donkey. Although I don't like saying it like that because I don't think it was as formal, you know? It's probably just like, go fuck a donkey.
You copulate with a donkey.
Yeah, just call him a donkey fucker.
Yeah, do it.
You donkey fucker.
Do it in a southern accent.
You donkey fucker.
May you copulate with a donkey. Sounds like he's reading, and he doesn't know how to read the word copulate.
May a donkey copulate with your wife, or may your own child copulate with your wife.
Ugh.
Hey, that's gross.
Which
Oh, that's-
may,
that's-
which
that's- is that
son of a
motherfucker?
bitch, which is probably like son of a bitch.
That sounds like motherfucker.
Oh, motherfucker. Yeah, probably that. So, that's fun. Also, fun fact about Egyptians, they were pretty good at, let's call it healthcare, aka not getting pregnant. They would
no.
use.
I'm not looking forward to this.
What do you think they would use to not get pregnant?
What, like condom wise, or just
the Nile?
What do you think?
the Nile?
Oh no, they go to the Nile.
No, if
to
you
get
go in the
pregnant.
Nile, they might actually fucking get pregnant.
By the pharaoh,
wasn't
at
it
least.
like sheep intestines or something?
Well, sheep intestines were very early forms of condoms, but that was way later than this. They didn't have sheep in ancient Egypt.
I'm afraid what you're about to say next.
Snake skin.
It's not on the male side. This is something women would do to not get pregnant.
Okay. Pass.
Upside down. Upside down. Gravity will help.
They'll help you get pregnant. Zach, do you know?
Yeah, they would jam a bunch of shit in there.
Crocodile dung.
They would put poop.
They put crocodile dung.
They would put poop in.
And what they would do is they would mix it with.
They're reversing the poo? That's gross.
What they would do was mix
That's
it.
how you get sepsis and die.
They would mix it with acacia leaves, which have an antimicrobial and anti-spermicidal quality. They would
So it
make like a
sounds like
little
maybe all they
diaphragm,
needed was the
essentially.
acacia leaves.
Well, they needed they needed a physical barrier.
Oh,
There's so
okay.
many things other than poop.
Well, the thing about that, it was that you could dry it, but you could form it and then you could dry it. So you could
What about like fucking clay? I don't know.
So you could form it in a way that worked for you and then use the same one over and over again. Also, they would use honey,
Oh, okay. That sounds better than poo.
which also is antimicrobial.
Ah,
I don't like any of this.
yeah. This is being consistent.
This is really
Out
making me
one will do the
uncomfortable.
Other, but that's what it is.
Studies show that it worked pretty well.
Good old studies.
Yeah, just created a very inhospitable environment in general.
God, that is just. Ugh.
They-
Don't put poop up there, guys. Don't. I mean, I know I don't have to say that, but I feel like I have to say that now.
They make contraceptives now. It's okay.
Not made out of poop.
They also had a pregnancy test, and they said that you should pee. Oh, the woman who thinks she's pregnant should pee on either wheat or barley. And if it sprouts within a specific time, that means that you're pregnant. And that's actually a real thing because it turns out that the pregnancy hormone, progesterone, whatever it's called, I don't know, actually causes more rapid maturation of those specific plants.
How long does it take to sprout though? Is it like 6
a couple
months?
days.
Okay.
No, it's a couple days.
They're like, you're pregnant. I know.
Yes, I'm aware.
It's
Thank you.
very clear.
No, it's a couple days. And so that's pretty cool.
That is
It is
cool.
pretty
I actually
cool.
like that because it doesn't involve poop.
It's similar to the diabetes test.
Yeah, where you pee on an anthill.
You
Yeah.
pee on somebody's face and then taste it and then see if it tastes sweet. That's what Zach.
God.
That's what Zach said that other guy did.
Yeah. Patrice O'Neill.
Modern medicine is amazing.
Talking about modern medicine, there's one last thing I want to end on, and it's from China. Now, attitudes in China about sex were constantly changing based on like the different dynasties. In a lot of the earlier dynasties, it was pretty chill. It was again like sex is power, and like there was rules about like who could have sex with who, and like blah blah blah. But like mostly, it was pretty all right. Lots of dildos in China. Again, strap-ons, like ones with straps. A double-ended dildo. There's actually a Roman double-ended dildo as well. There's cock rings from ancient China, which is fun. But coming back around to something that we said at the beginning of this podcast, there was described in a book from the Han Dynasty, I believe it was, that was referencing dildo mushrooms. They are mushrooms that look remarkably like weens. And it was said that peasant women would go out in the fields and pleasure themselves on these mushrooms.
Country girls make do.
No.
Indeed.
Please, no.
What if they were like a little hallucinogenic?
That'd be a
What
good
if
time.
they spore inside of you and
And then the zombie apocalypse starts? Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be
the
awesome.
cordyceps. The cordyceps.
Or what was the book that we read?
Oh, the
With
girl with all the gifts.
Yeah, the girl with all the gifts style. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
What was that?
It's another like spore mushroom zombie thing, but real good book. Highly recommend it.
Her vagina is now a zombie. Just the vagina.
The last thing that I want to say about China is that they had discovered sex hormones essentially way before anybody else.
Interesting.
What they would do is it was by the 2nd century AD, they were extracting sex and pituitary hormones from human urine to use in medicine. So this was a text that was written in 1025. It says that you should set it out, evaporate the urine in pans, heat it, and chemically process it so that the salts in the urea was removed. It would leave behind a crystalline substance that was apparently called the autumn mineral, which was just the like sex and pituitary hormones left behind. So they were like, then those crystals were ground up and then they were made into medicines to treat various sexual ailments.
Did it work?
Yeah, it apparently was useful for a wide range of problems, from impotence to like stimulating beard growth, like extra testosterone.
What the hell? That's fucking incredible.
Yeah. Like, and they were doing it for so long, like for a comparison in the West, they didn't figure out what sex hormones, 1, were, 2, how they worked, or 3, how to even measure them until like the 30s.
That's
Pretty cool.
honestly like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I thought that was an interesting one to stop on, because it's not all dildos and romping around in the forest.
And coming in the Nile.
Coming in the Nile. Sometimes it's
How
like
did they
actual
figure that
science. Dude,
Like,
who fucking
like,
knows, man?
they're like, hey, let's let this pee, hang out for a while and then see what happens. And then like it's all crystallized and then people are like, ooh, medicine. Like that's how did they get from A to B?
It's the same basic principle, the way that you extract salt from a lot of stuff. And so like you boil it and then it's like left with what was behind. So they obviously at some point were like, we should boil this and see what's left over. And they figured it out.
And someone ate it and they're like, I feel better.
I kind of want to fuck. No, it was for a lot of different things, but yeah, it's nuts, right?
That's the coolest thing you've said.
Thank you. I saved it for last for a reason, because I thought it was rad.
Thank you
It's
for
pretty
that.
sweet.
And that concludes it. That we can finally we've gotten it all out of our systems. We've talked about a bunch of gross stuff. Bo can never mention loads again, even though he didn't really mention loads that many times.
But what about the load race in the Nile?
That was his
That was pretty bad.
that was his load de resistance.
Nice.
his magnum lotus, if you will.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you got Zach going. You got Zach
Magnum
going.
Lotus.
But Zach and I figured that in honor of the funny sex number, we had to talk about funny sex in history.
Especially the bread dildos. That was pretty cool.
I
Cool.
like that.
Bread dildos.
Yeah, you're
Nuts,
gonna try
right?
that out. You're gonna bring that info into your personal life later.
Please don't.
No.
Please don't.
What was your favorite part, Zach?
My favorite part was, there's so much, and it was all great. I mean, the load race, that's gonna be hard to beat.
That wasn't
It
even.
wasn't really that hard.
That's not even a thing. That was made up.
That was just me.
That happens all the time on this podcast. Usually it's Bo, but you know.
I think that the secundinus, the shitter, is really good.
I love that he carved it on a huge rock. It was a gigantic rock. Bo, what was your favorite part?
Oh, my favorite part. Well, obviously, it's coming in denial, and I really wish I talked to my friend.
Denial about coming.
I wish I talked to my friend Niall more, and I could make that joke. I'm gonna treat you like the Egyptians, and I'm not finishing that sentence. But also, yeah, the shitter is top tier.
Well, hey, you just gotta take something from take a hint from the Romans and just come in your bros.
So come in denial.
Sometimes they did that. Andrew?
My least favorite part was when they shoved poop in their vaginas. That made me physically ill.
It's okay because it's just dried.
That's still poop.
And it's mixed with an antiseptic.
Before you continue,
and
Andrew,
dry poop. Same thing.
Before you continue, can I say my least favorite thing?
Yes.
When Zach tried to steal my Yelp joke and he just reused it after I said it.
Oh,
And there's a part in it, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's like Yelp!" And then we had a little tidbit. Andrew was saying something, and then Zach goes, "Oh, it's ancient Yelp." So that was my least favorite part. Zach,
do you want me to give you something that you'll hate that we can end on?
Oh
Sure.
God,
do it.
do it,
Do it.
do it.
I'm doing it. Hold on one second. Oh, I did a really bad job. I have to try again.
What is happening?
I'm trying to get the picture. And I fucked it up.
Well, I'm sorry for accidentally stealing your joke.
No, you're not. Now you know, so remember that thing you hated, or like one of the early episodes, and we stole your joke, and you got all pissy about it.
No.
Yeah, because you did, and that now you made me. You're just a hypocrite. I want you to live with that, knowing that
Tell you what. Instead of fighting, you guys just need to have a load race in the nearest river, and whoever wins
I
gets.
think that's illegal. Don't do that. So,
meet me at the Mississippi River.
for everybody's least favorite thing to end on, I have just sent you a picture. I want you to guess what it is. Describe it for our audience.
Okay.
Guess what it is. I'll tell you what it is, and then Zach can end it.
I don't know how to describe this. It looks like a nutcracker. Or something that you would that would use to crack a giant nut, a walnut. But it's got a bunch of figurines on the side of it. Please tell me they didn't crack nuts with this thing, like nuts.
Did they put that center thing between the nuts and reverse it, and it goes? I don't know.
Is this an ancient vasectomy machine?
Yeah. What is this?
It's a castration clamp.
No, that's not sexy at all.
2nd or 3rd century Rome. I told you you were going to end on something that y'all hated.
I hate that. You're right.
How dare you?
That's not sexy at all.
It's not.
I never said it was.
Oh.
I said that you were going to hate it.
Yeah, you were right. You did great.
And so you put the top bit that you want to keep through the top circle, and then you close the clamp around the rest of it, and then you cut.
I won't play this game no more.
All right, Zach, take us out.
Thanks for listening.
But it's me. It's Bo.
Yeah, it's Bo.
Oh, sorry, I forgot that it was Bo. Hey, Bo, take us out.
It happens a lot. I'm always forgotten. Hey, Ash, what a wonderful episode, and thank you for that crazy 69
I hope you
episode.
liked it. Nobody should listen to this.
I fully enjoyed it, and I think we all enjoyed it,
I'm uncomfortable.
From laughs to uncomfortableness to shit.
I had a great time.
Shit for people putting shit up themselves.
Oh my God.
To ending it on castration.
Andrew, you need to stop being such a prude.
Yeah, please stop.
I think it's also really interesting that all of the sex toys that I researched in history, all of the sex stuff, it was all revolved around like dildos and stuff. No male sex toys, really, except for cock rings. That was basically it.
Well, you said like brothels were legal, so I assume like they're more accessible.
Toys.
Yeah, it was all about power.
There was the thing about the dames de voyage, but that ended up not actually being true.
Another lie.
So
we're not going to cover it.
Sex, like the history of sex toys and stuff like that, is so full of lies. It's really hard to separate the wheat from the chaff when you're looking at like stuff online because it's so sensational.
What?
And
you never heard that expression?
The wheat from the chaff? Is that another fucking gross sex thing?
No,
it's a farming term. It's separating the usable part of the wheat from the unusable part of the wheat plant.
Okay, real quick. Do not put wheat in your chaff, okay?
Okay.
All right, Bo, take us out. Bo, take us out. It was a good joke. It was a good joke. Bo, take us out.
Was it? You want to? Okay. Anyway.
Ash laughed.
You want? Okay, but the.
Oh, sorry. Were you still talking?
Yeah, because I was in the middle of talking, and then you decided that you didn't, that you had never heard of a phrase. It's very common. It's a very common phrase.
Bo, have you heard of that phrase?
I never heard that phrase. Anyway, you can
You've
find
never
us
heard
on our
separate the wheat from the chaff.
You can find us on Instagram at. Go ahead and tell them, Zach.
So one of the things that you'll see are these dames de voyage, which is purported as the sex dolls made of straw that men would bring on long ship voyages.
It's Get Dumped On podcast on Instagram.
But they're not real.
But it turns out that they're
not a real thing.
And it turns out that they would just fuck manatees, you know?
Get Dumped On podcast as well.
At gmail.com.
That's where mermaids come from.
Just look it up. Just tell us hi. We're done. We're done here.
End it, please.
Yeah,
okay, bye. I hope you like this episode.
Hey,
it
bye.
was a funny sex number episode.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Okay, bye.
I'm still uncomfortable.
Ash and Zach think they're super smart because they went to college and I guess learned a bunch of stuff. And Bo and Andrew didn't go to college because we didn't want to. Fuck, whatever. What happens when you put them together and chaos will ensure? Use your right hand, let's all come together on Get Dumped On an Info Dump Podcast.
Don't put poop in there.
Oh,
Don't do it.
Okay.